Welcome back. Today we are talking about accessibility part 2. So let's jump into it. The first action item here for our section is we have audio, mono audio, and audio notifications. So we're going to click into here. Mono audio combines left and right audio channels into one. So on default, I just have that off. And then the next one we have here is flash my screen during audio notification. This is helpful if the person who is viewing things doesn't hear it, that they have a visual representation. If you have any sort of issues just hearing things for elderly or just people that are impaired, this is a great source. There's a couple options you have here. One option is flash the entire screen. Another option here is to flash the active window. And then the last one here is flash the title bar of the active window. Since I don't have a need for this for myself, I always have the default selected, which is never. So let's go back to accessibility here, or underneath hearing and hearing devices. So hearing devices, your PC does not support Bluetooth LE audio hearing devices. So on some devices, on some computers, they do support this option. That way you can pair your hearing impaired devices for audio devices to your computer. That way it will make it easier for you to be able to use the accessibility functions for hearing. So let's jump back into the accessibility. Go down here. The last one here for hearing is caption styles, live captions. So we're going to click into that. Make your devices easier to use without sound by displaying audio as text. So this is really handy. The first option we have here is the audio and video will be captured live on your screen. So basically what this means is it displays via text as audio. And I always have this as default as off because I don't have a need for it. But anyone that has impaired hearing or vision, I would definitely recommend this to turn that on. And then there is a way that you can turn that on with a shortcut. Again, that is on your keyboard on the bottom left hand side. You'll have a Windows icon with 4 squares. You'll hold that down and keep holding that down while holding the next button, which is the CTRL button. So you hold both those down, and then the last button that you hold down is that L button. And then that will turn that functionality on. And then the last option we have here is caption style. It's default, but you can set it to whatever you want. This is white on black, small caps, large text, and yellow and blue. Let's go back now to our accessibility. And next we're going into interaction. Speech, voice access, voice typing. So this is handy. It basically uses your microphone to dictate the text, so you don't have to type anything at all. Voice access, modern voice command feature to help you interact with your PC and dictate text, which we know as just speaking into your computer's microphone. You can enable this by pressing the Windows button, and again, that is the 4 square key button on the bottom left hand side by your CTRL button. So you hold that down and keep holding that down when you next hold the CTRL button, and then you hold both those buttons down and finally hit the S button, and that will toggle it on and off for your voice access. And you can initiate the start voice access before you sign into your computer or after you sign into your computer, depending on what you want for that. And then now we're going to go back to accessibility for speech and for interaction. Next action item here for the section is keyboard. So I'll sticky, filter, toggle keys, on-screen keyboard. So I'm going to click into that one. And then in here, sticky, filter, and toggle keys. The first one here is we just have a button to toggle on and off. You can do the Control S button to do that, or you can go into this specific setting and toggle it on and off with that button there. The filter keys, you can set the sensitivity of your keyboard so it can ignore brief or repeated keystrokes. So again, that's another option. You can toggle on and off. Toggle keys play a sound when you press the cap, num, or scroll buttons. So if you do press the caps button on your keyboard, the num lock button or the scroll lock button, it'll play a sound when you do that, and you can toggle that button on and off. And then notification preference here, there's a drop down for that. And that's just a way to be notified when you do those things. On-screen keyboard access keys and print screen. The on-screen keyboard press, so this is just a button you can turn on and off in here, or you can use the shortcut. Again, to use the shortcut, you would hit on the bottom left-hand side of your keyboard, you have 4 squares, that's a Windows button. You hold that, the button to the left of it, which is the CTRL button, you'll hold that down next and keep holding it down, and then the O button. And that will toggle that on and off. Let's see if we can do that here. As you can see, it toggled it on. I'm going to do that shortcut again. And now let's toggle it off. The next action item here is underline access keys. Access keys will be underlined even when you're not holding Alt. So that's just another functionality that you have there. You can turn on and off that. Use the print screen key to open screen capture. I always have that on. I think screen capture is great. If you don't know what that is, that lets you take a picture of your screen or multiple screens if you have them. And that way, if you have something that's important that you're looking at, it makes it easier just to grab a screenshot of it, just in case you need it at a later date. You can use this as reference. All right, back to accessibility. And the next one is mouse here, mouse key speed acceleration. So this allows you to speed up the keys. So we're just going to go through it step by step here. Mouse keys, use your numeric keypad to move your mouse pointer. And that's a toggle on and off button. I know you can't see that, but if I move this a little bit here, you can see that there. And then these are the options underneath that. So I always have it selected, only use mouse keys when num lock is on. And that's the only way that it will be used. Show the mouse key icons on the taskbar. I always have that as my default set on. That one, hold the CTRL key to speed up and the shift key to slow down. I don't really see a need for that, so I just use the default to keep that off. And then mouse key speed, change how fast the pointer moves when using the mouse keys. And you can use that however you would like. I just use the defaults, which is in the middle. Mouse key acceleration, change how quickly the pointer starts and stops when using the mouse key. So that's pretty nice to have, but I always like mine on my defaults here, my default settings. And we're going to go back to accessibility, and the last action item we have here is eye control, eye tracker, text to speech. So in this one, this uses your camera if you do have a camera on your PC. Some desktops don't have one unless you have like a USB camera, but this allows it to control your eyes, and that helps you, let's just read through here. Use your eyes to control your device and use text to speech to talk. So it kind of uses your eyes to help with that. All right, back to accessibility. And that pretty much covers everything that we needed to cover in accessibility. Again, don't hesitate to reach out, send me a message to ask any questions that you're confused about. And I will see you guys on the next video. That subject matter here is privacy and security, and I look forward to talking to you then.